All right. So essentially, what we're going to do is instead of taking deep inhales or deep exhales, like in the other breath work, you kind of just want to find yourself in the center and breathe as little as possible. So I'd like you to put your finger just so I can see how much you're breathing. So this is kind of a benchmark because you'll keep your mouth closed. It's just through your mouth, through your nose, I mean. So we'll just go like regular in, out. And before we begin, yeah, just show me how you're breathing. And this in itself can be a, mindful way of just connecting with your breath. Okay, so after your next exhale, I want you to plug your nose. Exhale, and then plug your nose. And just relax. Feel your diaphragm. And now when you have that first urge to breathe, you can take your fingers off your nose and just breathe shallow, rapid belly breaths. Just like in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Through the nose, in, out, in, out, in, out. Sorry, nasal belly breaths, in, out, in, out. Relax. Feel your diaphragm building up what they call air hunger. And if it's super challenging, you can take a deep breath in, but the point is to train your body to be able to function with more levels of carbon dioxide. And if you can, show me with your finger how the breath is. Okay, nice, super rapid and shallow. And I want you to focus on your lower abdomen. That's where the breath should be going. In, out, in, out, in, out. Just relaxing. And if it helps, you can put one hand on your belly as well, just to feel it going out a little bit. Go for about 30 more seconds. Doing great. It's a practice. And keeping the mouth closed whenever we finish in about 10 more seconds. You can just come back to a steady, regular breath without trying to overcompensate too much, but just if you need to exhale a lot or inhale, feel free to do so. 3, 2, 1. Coming back to your normal breath. All right. So this next one, I want you to hold your nose for shorter. I feel like you really pushed it. You held it for maybe 20 or 30 seconds or so, which is great. But this time we'll just do it for about 10 seconds so it's not as intense and it's not as difficult on the recovery side. All right? Okay. So just keep breathing, relax. The more relaxed you are, the better. And to the best of your ability, we want to breathe through our nose. When you breathe through our mouth, we get rid of a lot of carbon dioxide, even when we're speaking or when we're singing, if we're not mindful of it. And oftentimes we can end up being drained or tired after a speech. Or if you look at teachers who are teaching all day long at public schools and such, at the end of the day, they're tired because they've been breathing through their mouth often the whole day. So after the next exhale, you can just hold your nose and stop. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let go and just breathe through your nose. Shallow, gentle, rapid belly breaths. Nice. Just relax. Just build up your focus, your concentration. It's a beautiful way to practice meditation. And just move your finger. You don't have to move your whole arm. You can just put your finger. Yeah, there you go. In, out, in, out. Just feel the belly rising and falling. Gentle, rapid nasal belly breaths. And it should get easier over time with this recovery. So the first 20 seconds should be most difficult, and then after that it gets a little bit easier as your body's adjusting to the levels of carbon dioxide. You may feel a little bit of heat building up in your body, completely normal. And again, focus on that lower abdomen or the root chakra. You're feeling really grounded. Taking yourself out of your head and just into the moment, just each breath, in, out. Go for about 30 more seconds. Doing great. And over time, you'll be able to train yourself. Well, naturally, you can do this recovery process without even thinking about it. While you're working, while you're walking, while you're biking. It's a very discreet form of breath work. You can do it while you're listening, while you're coaching people, while you're on a business call. Just training the body how to breathe. 5 more seconds. And keeping the mouth closed, come back to a normal breath through your nose. 2, 1. So how does that feel?
I didn't think it was, maybe it was a little difficult in the beginning, but I thought it got more difficult over time.
Really? And would you say that that's like a physical difficulty, or would you feel like the mind just got louder and was more annoying and it was making it more challenging?
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay. So I would say play around with it, but over time, you really just, there's a part of your brain, I forget the name, but it's somewhere in the back. And basically what you're doing is overriding that function of the brain that says, hey, we need to take a deep breath in. Because you don't really need to, you're fine. Your body can fully function. But it's just kind of like creates this feeling of suffocation or air hunger. And that can be very challenging because it's a form of this fight or flight that we can interpret that as like, oh no, like literally the first time I did that, I felt like I was going to die. And I was like, I hate this. And I was doing the Wim Hof method for like a year. And I tried this and I was like, I hate this. I'm suffocating. Get me out of here. And then 2 minutes later, I was like, I probably need to do this if I'm struggling this much. And so it's kind of like rewiring our brain, rewiring our thinking, and learning how to breathe again. But yeah, I wouldn't lie. Like it's not, it's not sexy. That's why I don't teach it, right away to people. But it's consistent. And if you look at animals, they never breathe through their mouth unless they're chasing prey or running away. And so it's more of this way of like naturally coming back to our center and a balanced lifestyle. Do you have any other questions?
I guess I don't understand like the utility of it yet.
Okay.
Or like, what's the situation that you would use this in? I mean, I understand like
all
I
the time.
use it.
It's a lifestyle. So the book Oxygen Advantage gives you a lot of examples of like doing it at the gym, and for like if you're going to be going on a run, you would do it as a warm up. So like to really get the blood moving, you can start with a light jog, or if you just do that practice while walking and just hold your nose, it really gets the body warmed up and gets the blood pumping. I do it riding on my motorbike. I do it waiting in line. It's really, for me, it's something that it always brings me back, especially when I'm thinking a lot and very much in my head. To me, it kind of takes everything that's out here and then just brings it into the center. It's just like a lot of concentration and focus.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at a cafe and you're feeling kind of off center, you want to feel grounded. Like what I would do is I would just hold my nose for as long as possible. And then I started with music to really just like have fun and enjoy it. But now it's like if I'm writing an email and I notice I'm getting a headache or I'm feeling ungrounded, I'll just hold my nose while I'm doing something. And I don't really have to think about it. Naturally, whenever I need to breathe, I'll let go. And then I'll go into this like short belly breaths. And so it's something I can do while I'm working, while I'm multitasking, while I'm listening to June, while I'm making tea, etc.
Hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll try it out. And how long do you want to do the shallow belly breaths for?
Really, until it feels effortless and it feels natural. So the way they teach it at Buteyko method is you do it's called a maximum pause.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to play around with it, you can stretch them longer. Same way on the retention during the Wim Hof breath. If you hold it, your first urge to breathe, you can overpower that by moving, by slapping your body, shaking. You can kind of distract your body, if you will. The body's like, hey, we need oxygen, but you can be like, no, we don't, and then keep moving. But then it makes it more difficult to recover. But what they teach is you do the maximum pause, or they also have a word called control pause, and then the maximum pause is when you're stretching them. And then they teach about 2 to 4 or 5 minutes in the recovery. But it's really like you should have your level of carbon dioxide just be building, 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 building. And then you're kind of building this bridge back as you recover so that you come back to your natural state, but you feel relaxed. You don't feel air hunger. If you're taking a deep breath at the end, then either you went for too long or the recovery wasn't long enough.
Hmm.
But I also invite you to play around with it and see what works best for you, because like I said, it's pretty intense at times, especially when you're just learning it. It took me about, I would say, 1 month to stop hating it and then 3 months till I actually started to enjoy it. And now I love it. It's something I do, like even now, between words and when I'm pausing, I'm kind of like coming back to that shallow nasal belly breath. So does that help? And I have guided breath works that I can send you. I have an audio one and then I have a video one, because I feel like it helps to have someone else's voice in your head early on.
Yeah.
But really, even if you just come back and just take like 10 belly breaths through your nose in a row, that's in itself going to help come back to that. And this is also going to help your Wim Hof method practice as well, because you're just training your diaphragm to be more powerful and to be able to hold more carbon dioxide. So after I did this Buteyko program for about 10 months and I went back to the Wim Hof breathing, my numbers, the amount I could hold my retention went up significantly. So it's still fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and another suggestion I would have is maybe doing it right after the Wim Hof breathing, because at that point your carbon dioxide levels are already higher than normal, so it's much easier. And so that can kind of create this positive relationship where it's easier, it's effortless, and it feels good, and you'll get more of the positive effects. Where if you do it on, you're going against society and the way you've been breathing for the last 30 years. And a lot of us were never taught how to breathe. So it can be challenging to just all of a sudden kind of flip the switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other questions before I stop recording?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.